I'm going to jump right in. I know there was a lot of conversation about that move Jimmie Johnson made. I think the rain forced him into that move. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I saw plate racing. He had a run coming off two. The run down the backstretch turns the inside of Paul Menard. Did he side draft? Yes. Did he need a side draft? Yes. It looked like there was going to be contact, but there really wasn't until the 21 came down. Now, unfortunately, it took out, basically, we'll call it the whole field, and that was the move that ended the race. I know there was some conversation about the double yellow line. That doesn't really come into play for wrecking. I saw a clean move. Jeff Burton, you've won at plate tracks. What did you see?
Well, I saw 15 cars wrecked. So, I mean, clearly it wasn't a completely clean move. It was a move you see on a plate race, cars running that closely together. There was a reason they were single file. You know what I mean? If you don't want to expose yourself to danger, what do? You go single file. So the minute that an aggressive move got made, there was contact, around they went, and a big wreck. So, but that's the things you're going to have to do. If you're going to win on a plate race, what are you going to do? You're going to have to make an aggressive move. Jimmie Johnson didn't turn left, then turn the wheel back right, intending to spin a guy out directly in front of him. That wasn't the intention. That's certainly what happened in regard to the contact, but it wasn't the intention to wreck Paul Menard. Paul Menard didn't do anything wrong. He got run into. That's the way I saw it, but it wasn't because Jimmie Johnson was wanting to wreck him right in front of him in the entire field. That was not Jimmie Johnson's thought process.
I will say I felt really good that Jimmie Johnson didn't sound too disappointed that he did wreck him. I like that, a little swagger. What I mean is basically he was like, yeah, they wrecked. I won. They wrecked. I kind of like that.
Yeah, in a time in a world now that we seem to want to automatically put blame on someone, sometimes, especially in this sport, things just happen, you know, that people are trying. And sometimes when you're trying, then especially in plate racing, some contact is going to be made. And at the speeds that you're running, it doesn't take much to send that off. When it happens at the front of the pack, obviously it can take out 14 or 15 cars. Mother Nature stepped in and didn't make us watch 4 cars race for the win, thankfully, with that. But you know, it was exciting. It was a great move, and I don't think Jimmie Johnson had anything to be apologizing for. He's racing. You start that race with the idea that the only thing that makes any difference is winning and getting the trophy. And I think Jimmie did an outstanding job of understanding the situation. You know, this all started back as they came off of turn 2. You can see him drop back right here. He's trying to get the one of Kurt Busch on his bumper to give him a really good push, and he did that. This is exactly how you utilize the draft and a car helping you make this pass. You can see the huge run that he got. Paul Menard's in a situation, that's a great position to be in, to lead, but you're in no man's land, Jeff.
The other thing I think played a huge issue in that is look at the bottom lane. There were cars in the bottom lane, and so you as a driver, all the weather's coming from turns 3 and 4 heading onto the racetrack. So as a driver, and Jimmie Johnson said it, he was watching the weather. He felt like that they were going to race until the rain came. So if you're Jimmie Johnson, you're driving your race car, you're looking, you're seeing that bottom lane coming, you're looking at the weather, you're saying this could be the last lap. You hang a left knowing that somebody is going to go with you or not, but if they don't, there's help coming from behind. So that was a time that he saw the move that he needed to make if he was going to win the race. I found, to me, the most compelling part of that race was what was Paul Menard going to do? Because if I'm Paul Menard and I'm leading the race and I know weather's coming, I can't just keep riding around the top. I know everybody's following me to the top, but you know what? If he'd have drove to the bottom, they'd have drove to the bottom with him. So that, to me, I'm not saying Paul Menard did anything wrong. I'm just saying that was a very, very difficult decision that Paul Menard was going to have to make. When do I go to the bottom? Because at some point, and that's what Jimmie Johnson did, you get a big run getting into the corner, you hang a left, and some people are going to go with you, and Paul Menard's no longer the leader.
Well, fortunately, we have a little bit of sound from everyone involved. We'll see what the driver's take was on this incident.
Jimmie's a 7-time champion. I've got a lot of respect for him, but we come to these plate tracks, and he causes at least one wreck every plate track.
I made a move and got to the inside and was side drafting him, and his car started wobbling. So I don't know what caused it.
And he stayed in that no zone. I call it the no zone, in that left rear quarter panel for way too long.
It's the last way I want to win a race.
I just drug Menard around with him.
I didn't drive through a car and create a wreck.
Sometimes your move is your last move because the cars are so unstable.
Kurt was in here and felt like he called it the no zone, hung on the left rear quarter panel of the 21 too long, and also passed below the yellow line. Your comments to that?
So he wants the trophy. I'd politic if I was him too. Why not?
If that's the 2019 version of Jimmie Johnson, I can't wait because it's going to be good. So the no zone, I didn't get the email or the bulletin. I wasn't aware of the no zone. Obviously, Kurt had a strong opinion that it seemed like everybody should know you can't be in that situation. But if you can't get to somebody's right rear quarter panel as a crew chief, I want to see my driver get to a quarter panel on either side. That's the only chance you have of going by.
Well, you can't just pull over there and not have an effect on the car. You've got to be there for a certain period of time to make that work. If you just make the pass and you just slide over and back, you're not really slowing that car down any. You have to slow that down. And not only does that slow that car down a little bit by packing that air, but that allows the car behind you to get to your bumper and give you the push that you need. You have to stay there for a certain period of time. And I didn't really realize, I never thought of it when I was driving, that there was a certain amount of time that I had to be there and then I had to vacate that lot.
You probably thought about it when somebody else was there, though.
Well, I did, maybe. So you're exactly right. And really, the only guy that's putting much blame on anything is the man that was leading the race, and that's understandable.
Right.
Yeah. If you're Paul Menard, you're not mad something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
You're leading the race. Next thing you know, you're getting turned around. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But, one thing that I have experienced in driving these cars, and it always amazed me, is how, you'd be going down the back straightaway at Daytona, Talladega, and somebody would pull up next to you, and it would suck your car to them. It's the weirdest thing.
Right.
This car with the real flat sides and the real long quarter panels, it really, for just a second, it moves you closer to the car without you turning the wheel. You're holding the wheel straight, and your car all of a sudden moves to it. I heard Chase Elliott make a comment after his wreck in practice that these cars move other cars around, and it actually pulls you to the other car, just not for long, but just a split second. And in a wreck like that, you have to wonder, because I don't believe that Jimmie Johnson turned left, turned right. You know what I mean? It happened that quick. And listen, it's a problem with slow motion.
Yeah.
Like you and I sat in these cars, and you're like, I'm going to make the move, and next thing, oh God, what happened? That's how it happens. That's how quick it happens. And it's slow motion has made a lot of people look silly. But the truth of the matter is, things happen really, really quickly, and many times it's completely out of your control.
Hey NASCAR fans, thanks for checking out the NBC Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe below for the latest NASCAR news, race highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.